So, for the audience to understand,
Mhm.
what was the exam that you have to take for this getting into the college at London?
Thank you for asking me this question. I didn't have to write any exam.
Wow.
Yes, I was shocked. And I applied for about 800 jobs
Wow.
in 2 months.
Wow.
Okay, and it was not easy.
True.
It was like every day I used to keep targets saying I have to apply for 30 jobs today.
Hello everyone. Welcome to the another episode of Product Management Interview Experience. I'm Sugat, product manager at Meta, and I create content related to product management and interview experiences. Don't forget to check up some of my previous videos where I have shared more than 35 companies' interview experiences, and I hope you find value out of it. And today I have Bhavana, who has recently joined Kodypay London as a product manager. Welcome, Bhavana.
Hello, hi, Sugat. Thank you so much for having me here. And hello, everyone.
Yep. Folks, I think this is the first time I'm doing an in person recording. I'm very much excited because so far the recordings you have seen are only about the Zoom or the Riverside, but the experience gonna be immersed and this time. So let me know in the comment section how did you like this particular recording as well as the episode, because I'm very excited to learn about Bhavna's journey of pursuing MBA in London and then cracking the PM interview over here. Without any further ado, let's get started. Bhavna, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself to the audience?
Sure. Hello, everyone. I'm Bhavana Angadi, and I'm a product manager, and that's why I'm probably here with Sugat. So, I recently completed my MBA in February from Kingston Business School in London. So, and of course, I think the job search process was not an easy one for me coming to an international market. I think the competition is probably 10x in an international market. We should surely discuss about it. So, and finally, I managed to get a product manager job in a fintech company.
Okay.
Coming from a retail industry, I happened to crack in a different industry. And I really think fintech is super big in London. So, I'm excited to learn about fintech. And apart from that, I'm a public speaker. I mentor aspiring PMs. That is something which I'm passionate about. I like teaching, so I'm also a lecturer at Kingston Business School, and I teach fundamentals of business strategy and also a bit about digital marketing, SEO, because I've worked on SEO in Big Basket. So it's more about sharing my practitioner knowledge with the students to complement the theory that is being taught by the academics. So yeah, all in all, that's pretty much about me. And if you want to check out more about me, do check out my website, hellobhavna.com. Thank you.
That's awesome, man. And pretty much, I think folks do check out Bhavna's website, and
Yeah.
we have a lot to talk about in this episode where we're gonna understand her entire journey.
Yeah.
What was her decision in pursuing an MBA, already being a product manager, and what was her job
Yeah.
search in London and UK. So, Bhavna, since you mentioned you were already working as a product manager at Big Basket
Yeah.
in India, what was the need of pursuing an MBA at this point of time?
Okay. So I'll say two reasons. One is we wanted to move from India to UK. So my husband has previously been in Europe for 2-3 years, and he really liked the work culture in the Europe. So we thought, okay, maybe I think going via student visa is the safest route. And me and my husband, trust me, we did try to apply maybe 500, 600 jobs,
Wow.
and none of it worked. Canada, we applied to Canada visa as well. That also didn't work out. And we were like, okay, I think it's time for me to study. And I anyway wanted to do an MBA. And my husband also thinks that I have a technical background and it will be really good if I have a business background as well. And MBA is the right degree for it. And in all the job descriptions, they don't say that MBA is a mandatory thing at all, but they will say MBA is a plus.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, let me get that plus also. And the other thing is, I thought, okay, studying after having kids is a very difficult thing. I have learned it seeing my sisters and friends. So I thought maybe it's the right time for me to do the MBA.
I can truly relate to this because
Mm-hmm.
if I look at my journey as well, I
Mm-hmm.
had a similar experience where I had that product experience back in startup,
Mm-hmm.
yet I ended up having an MBA and then
Oh,
doing the MBA after doing the product role after MBA as well. So
oh,
I truly understand the reason, but thought of checking out
yeah.
with you and hearing out loud.
Oh, so we are on the same journey then. So you were a PM, you also did an MBA.
Yes.
I'm sure it would have helped you, right?
Absolutely. And not only I think we have so many, although working in startup, the
Mm-hmm.
exposure was huge,
Mm-hmm.
but getting that business sense and overall understanding actually helped a lot.
Yes, yes, for sure. I think the other thing is I also want to be an entrepreneur in future.
Nice.
And when you go in front of investors, I think having that MBA will also help, right?
True.
It may feel like yes, it's just another degree, but I think having that extra degree also matters. So yeah, that's one
Yeah,
of the
and
things.
education is never going waste sort of thing. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And I will honestly tell you that I had no idea about a balance sheet. Like, what is even there in a balance sheet?
Yep.
So now I understand. And it's really those small, small things, like saying those, learning those business language, competitive advantage, and all of it.
Yep.
It's really good. I will highly recommend anybody who is thinking about product management as their long term career, whether you have already started the journey or whether you're planning to start the journey. MBA is a really good starting step. I would really recommend MBA.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. Good to hear. Uh, Shifting the gear a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
Bhavna, uh, why UK and it must be a tough decision for you shifting
Oh,
from
yes.
India to UK. Would love to hear your journey. What were your thought process on deciding and moving to UK?
Oh, yes. Ask me about it. I think I'm still settling it in that, okay, I have actually moved away from my family. So for me, it has been a very difficult journey, I'll say, because I've always lived with my parents forever, never lived in hostels or anything. And maybe I would have really not survived if I came alone to the UK. Thanks to my husband that he's there, that I don't feel alone being away from India. So my major motivation is, so I wanted to do MBA. I had a choice either to do it in India or to do it in abroad. So of course, I think for every MBA aspirant, IIM is like
Yeah.
a dream college in India. And then what happened is during COVID, I was invited as a speaker in IIM
Wow.
Lucknow. And then I got a question. If I'm being invited as a speaker there to share my knowledge, I think, will it really make sense for me to go there as a student?
Yep.
I thought maybe it is good for me to step out of my comfort zone,
Hmm.
which will happen if I move abroad. So I've always lived in my comfort zone within my family's protection, and coming out of India was a big leap, and I will say it is really worth it. It's been difficult, but I'm glad I took that leap, and it has been a very fruitful journey, I'll say. And the MBA in an international market, I think that is always a feather in the cap,
Yeah.
and it is very different because there are no exams here. Okay, there are no
Yeah.
exams in the MBA. It was all assignments, and doing that assignments was quite a practical one, I'll say,
Yep.
because for example financial management, that was the subject I was most scared of, and I happened to get the most marks in it,
Wow.
probably because I was very scared. I put in that extra effort, and it was about reading Tesla's financial statements. What did I understand from it, and what is that one strategic move which I would propose? So it was really exciting. And I thought it is probably different from the Indian educational
True.
system. So definitely try to do MBA in abroad. I'll recommend that.
Just to share my experience to the
Mm-hmm.
audience as well,
Mm-hmm.
right? When I was doing my MBA from
Mm-hmm.
SP
Mm-hmm.
Jan,
Mm-hmm.
we had an international immersion to
Mm.
Texas University
Oh
for a
wow.
month. And the kind of knowledge and the lessons which I learned over here was
Mm-hmm.
way different, right? The
Ah.
teaching, as you mentioned already,
Mm-hmm.
the kind of assignments which we were
Mm-hmm.
doing were
Mm-hmm.
really practical, and the
Mm-hmm.
professors And again, there were no exams out of those. So
Yeah.
amazing. I think that actually helps changing, giving a different perspective.
Yes, yes, exactly. And I totally agree with you. You should experience it. See, I'm
Yeah.
not saying this is good, that is bad, or that is good, this is bad. I think we would have experienced in the Indian education system
Yeah.
till bachelor's for sure. I think master's one, maybe it's good to experience a different one, different educational system.
So, just for the audience to understand,
Mm-hmm.
what was the exam that you have to take for this getting into the college at London?
Thank you for asking me this question. I didn't have to write any exam.
Wow.
Yes, I was shocked. So thanks to my friend Vikas actually. So he told me that in UK the MBA colleges that you want to apply, they actually don't ask for your GMAT scores or IELTS or
Wow.
TOEFL. Trust me, in US it's there. I think US application process is quite comprehensive. It's complicated. And I was thinking, okay, I think I should write GMAT and then I will apply. I just met him in a wedding and he was like, no, you just apply. You anyway have good grades. You will get it very easily. And that's
Wow.
what happened. I applied in September and December I was in UK.
Wow.
Yes, it was super fast. I'll say I was lucky. And that's also because my English marks was good. Okay,
Got
so
it.
my English marks was good in 10th and 12th, and of course the medium of instruction was English
English.
throughout. So they just saw that and they thought, okay, I can speak English well. And there was one interview, okay, with
Got
the
it.
MBA director. So it was about 20 minutes, and she asked, okay, why do you want to do MBA and things like that. So I answered it. And she also happened to be a product manager previously.
Oh, wow.
So she understood what I was doing. So, and that's it. I got the offer letter. So maybe the worst case that you may have to encounter an application is probably writing IELTS or TOEFL. And that too in UK, it's very minimal, saying you just need to get like 6 in all the different like listening, writing, reading thing. So
Got
it's
it.
not very tough in UK actually. You can get it. And trust me, this is the best time. I'll tell you, this is the best time to come to UK because from Jan 2024,
Mm-hmm.
dependents cannot come.
Yes.
Yes, are you aware about it,
Yes, I think
Sugat?
I was hearing some news with
Yeah.
some visa regulations has
Yes.
been changing, so that might be a
Yes.
shocking for students. And
Oh,
yeah,
yes, it is. I mean, maybe if I was coming next year, maybe I might have not chosen UK.
yeah.
So I think this is the best year if you're planning to move to the UK. So yeah, all the best. Keep an eye.
And just for the sharing it to audience, as a dependent visa, we can also work here
Oh,
to
yes.
any company. So you
Yes.
don't need any visa sponsorship at all. So that's
Yes.
another great benefit for
Yes.
the dependents who are coming along with the students here.
Yes. Good you raised that point because right now I was on student visa till Feb and now I'm on dependent visa on my husband's
Oh,
visa.
yeah.
So it's peaceful. And you know what, Sugat? Probably if I didn't have a dependent visa, I might have not gotten a job till now.
True.
It is very, very important because the first thing that they ask is what's your visa status?
Yeah.
And that's why in my CV, I have written it on the top saying visa sponsorship is not required. And probably because of that, my visa was at least getting shortlisted. So dependent visa was a very important thing for me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think thanks a lot for sharing all this info and let's do some fun exercise. I think
Yeah.
I've been doing this for last few episodes of something called Fireside Chat where
Okay, yeah.
we gonna be doing some candid questions and would love to hear some of your responses. Are you
Sure.
ready, Bhavna?
Yes, I'm all for it. Go for it.
Cool. First question: Who is your favorite product influencer? Don't take my name.
I mean, I really appreciate what you're doing for all the aspiring PMs, Sugat. It is really good.
Thank you.
I really wish the best for your channel. So, in terms of product influencer, I'll say I like Shreyas Doshi. Shreyas Doshi, I think he's a very humble person as well. Of course, I've not met him in real, but I think from the way he writes the posts, I think he's very knowledgeable and he has worked in all the big tech giants you
Yeah.
can ever imagine. And even the subtle points that he brings out in his posts, it is really not just about like just product management.
Yeah.
I think he really talks about stakeholder management, how you can do it, how B2B product management is different from B2C product management. So I like Shreyas Doshi.
Awesome. And Shreyas, if you're hearing this, one more fan. And I really wish to invite Shreyas in my channel. And
Oh,
let's see if it happens in upcoming any year.
yeah, it will happen. All the best.
Cool. Moving to the next question. What is your favorite product interview question?
Okay. My favorite product interview question is this, where people ask, "What is your favorite product,
Okay.
and how would you improve it?" So that is my favorite question because everyone's favorite product could be different. So for me, it could be Canva, the art like where you can edit your pictures and
Absolutely.
videos. For someone else, it could be Instagram. For
Yeah.
someone else, it could be TikTok. So how would you improve it? And the answers which come out, right, it will be quite interesting. And of course, you can ask good follow-up questions for
Yeah.
it, like how would you measure the success of that product? So I think that is my favorite question, which I also ask in all the interviews.
Awesome. Uh, moving to the next, being a product manager, you might have worked on a lot of problems and features. What was your favorite problem which you have solved so far, or the proudest one?
Okay, yeah. I think I can think of a few, like whichever I've worked on, like site search of Big Basket, many customer service features, and some on the delivery app of Big Basket, and some are building ads, which I honestly don't like because nobody likes to see ads, you know.
Yeah.
So I'll say my favorite one is the feature which I built for customer service, which
Nice.
is I built the self-service portal,
Wow.
which is there in Big Basket today. And I think that's because more than I work for the sales team or the category team, I feel more job satisfaction when I work for the customer service product. Because, yes, it's important that we get more and more customers, but the true value is only when you value the customers that you already have and treat them well when they have a problem.
Yep.
So self-service, it enabled users to at least get an answer for like the top queries.
Correct.
And if at all they had a problem, they could very easily chat with the customer service agent. So self-service is my product, which I'm very, very proud of. Thank
Kudos
you.
to you. Yep. And what do you love most about the role of product manager?
Okay. So I'll tell you why I was very happy when I became a product manager. It's because I always hated coding. Okay. So I'm a telecommunication engineer, and then I happened to be a software test engineer. And then I understood, okay, I think coding is where the money is. And that's where the future is. Manual testing is not scalable.
Yeah.
So I learned coding half-heartedly, and then I managed to get a job in Big Basket. And then within 1 year, I got a chance to become product manager.
Oh,
I
nice.
was like, okay, this is the best thing for me because why I like PM is because I'm still working on products, like technology products, but I'm not coding.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
it's like that best thing that could have happened to me, that I'm not moving away from technology, from software products, but I'm also not coding. So that's my favorite part.
And what's not your favorite part of being a PM?
Okay. Again, it is related to coding,
Okay.
which is when the developer says it's not a bug, it's a feature
Feature.
request. It just hurts me, you know. It really, I get heart pain sometimes when I'm saying, look, the ticket clearly says this,
Yeah.
and you have not built it that way. And they say, no, I think you should have more explicitly written something else.
Oh God.
I am like, oh God, I don't want to do this debate.
Yeah.
That a developer says it's a new feature request, and I say it's a bug.
Wow.
I think that's the toughest arguments which happens in a PM's day.
Yeah, pretty cool. I can totally relate to it again, and there were some memories flashing with the
Is
similar
it?
instances. Anyways, but it was fun chatting with you, Bhavna, and thank you a lot for sharing all these candid responses.
Yeah.
Uh, I think now comes the most interesting phase, right? So far, we have learned about Bhavna's journey, how she entered into product management and her dream of pursuing the MBA and then finding a job. Now, moving onward, we're going to be talking a lot about the entire interview experience and how Bhavna was able to land into a role of product manager at Kodypay. Bhavna,
Yeah.
would love to hear in depth, what were the kind of a journey that you had taken post MBA and how you started applying to different companies, how you got that call. Over to
Oh
you.
yes, oh yes. Let me I'll say express my honest emotions. It took me 2 months to find a job, and I don't think it's a big time, right? I
Hmm,
think
yeah,
2 months is a good enough a time for any job switch or job search.
absolutely.
But I will say it was a very difficult time for me because till now in my career of 7 years, I had never applied to any job.
Wow.
Okay, so it was always like opportunities came and then
Correct.
I accepted it. So the 2 months, which was TCS and Ericsson, that was like campus placement
True.
after engineering. But I didn't take both of those. I ended up being a software test engineer in a startup. And then Big Basket HR had reached out. I went there. And then and in between also I used to get job opportunities, cracked it, and then that's what happened. I had never applied. And now, you won't believe, but last year when I was doing my MBA,
Hmm.
when I was in the middle of it, I got a call from Google.
Wow.
Okay. Who does not want to work for Google? It's like, should I just leave this MBA and go
Yeah.
for it? That was my thought. Okay. I mean, why am I even doing this MBA? Maybe to
Correct.
get into Google,
Google,
right? Now
yeah.
it has come. Maybe it's time. And that too, it was Google product manager for YouTube product. Okay,
Oh.
it's one of my favorite. Like Google, YouTube, and Google Maps are my favorite, and that was in Switzerland. Okay, I was like, what do I do? What do I do? I've done half of the MBA. So in the end, I said, okay, maybe if they have come now, they are impressed with my profile. Maybe they will come
Come.
back again
Yeah.
later. Let me finish this MBA. My husband also convinced me, and literally, I cried when I had to tell them no. So it
Oh.
was that difficult. And even during that 1 year, I was getting some calls, okay, on
Hmm.
LinkedIn. And then suddenly this recession hit, right?
Absolutely.
I think in December time, the
Yes.
situation got really worse. I just stopped getting all the messages on LinkedIn. I was like, is this a bad sign? I'm
Yeah.
really graduating in a wrong time. And that's all. Till now, I don't get any messages now. I think the recession is here officially.
True.
So I'm like, okay, I think nobody is coming now. I should only apply. And I applied for about 800 jobs
Wow.
in 2 months.
Wow.
Okay. And it was not easy.
True.
It was
Yep.
like every day I used to keep targets saying I have to apply for 30 jobs today.
Hmm.
And I was waking up to rejection emails. So I want to write this as a LinkedIn post, but that time has still not come. But I was waking up to rejection emails, a day which I'd never imagined would come. But finally, I happened to get two jobs by the end of 2 months. And then Kodypay was a better one, which I got. So that's when I joined Kodypay. The interview
Nice.
process was not very difficult with Kodypay because it's a small startup. Of
Mm-hmm.
course, in Meta, you would have had some 5, 6, 7, 8 rounds. God knows how many.
Eight, I think eight. Eight to
Eight.
nine.
Oh. You should give me some interview tips.
Absolutely. Definitely.
So with Kodypay, it was just 2 rounds for me. So my CV got shortlisted, and then one round with the CPO,
Mm-hmm.
and then the second round was with CPO and CTO together.
Got it.
So
Got it.
that's what it was.
Awesome. Happy to hear and discuss few more details about the
Yeah,
process.
yeah, sure.
So, can you walk us through like what were the kind of discussion happened during the interview process, like the recruiter's call and the CPO things? Maybe you can help us with what were the few of the questions being asked or
Yeah.
what they expect from a candidate to answer.
Yeah, yeah. So the first call is generally the recruiter's call. So they will call you and they will ask, okay, what's your visa status? That's the first question. And then, so let's say I'm on dependent visa, then they'll ask what's the
Yeah.
expiry date to it. So I told 2 years, and then it will be extended. So I'm here, don't worry. So that went well, and then it moved on to the CPO round. So that's when it was just like a 30 minutes chat. He was a very cool manager. So he was like, okay, what does a typical PM day look like for you?
Correct.
right? So that was one of the first things. And then he also asked about how will you work with the tech team on a day-to-day basis, because it's a very small team.
Yep.
We're just like 20, 30 people in the whole company, so it's very important that you work closely with engineers, right? So how do you work every day with the tech team? And the third question was, how do you like juggle with changing priorities, right? So
Yeah.
today we are working on 1, 2, 3,
Correct.
and then suddenly tomorrow, okay, remove one, put five,
Fine.
right? So that's
Always.
one. Yeah. Does it happen even in Meta?
Absolutely.
Oh
Yeah.
my God. Then I think it's nothing to do with startup then.
Never, never. It's always the priority
Ah,
business keep changing, and yeah.
yeah. So I had a good experience of it even in Big Basket because it's always changing. So I explained my experiences of it in Big Basket. So he was pretty much convinced. And then the next round was with CTO and the CPO. And here I was given an assignment.
Okay.
So I really appreciate that assignment because most companies, what they do is, okay, you learn about our product and then you come up with something,
Yeah.
right? But in Kodypay case, what they did is, okay, you just choose any of your favorite project and you tell us how did you define the problem?
Correct.
What were the different solutions that you explored? And which solution did you pick? And why did you pick that solution? And how did you measure the success of
Correct.
that product? And lastly, what you would change.
Hmm.
So this was the assignment. It was a small PPT, and I presented that PPT to the CTO and CPO, and that also worked really well. And that's how I
Nice.
got the job.
And what was total duration? Was it in a week's time or it was a long?
Okay, good question. So with Kodypay, it was super fast
Wow.
because it's a small startup and they really wanted to hire very quickly.
Yep.
But in MNCs, I think the whole interview process will take at least 2 months minimum.
True.
Because I think I applied for a job in JP Morgan that was for a product manager for last mile delivery, something which I'd worked in Big Basket. I think if I applied on March 1st, I got the recruiter's call on April 1st. And then she said, okay, this is good. And then after 1 month, she messaged saying, okay, I'm going to pass your CV to the next round. And that's it. Even now,
Oh,
I don't
wow.
know what's happening. So if I look at it in the portal, it says it's still in process. So I don't know how it works. But it in MNCs, I think in big MNCs, it
Yeah.
typically takes longer here. It takes longer than in India. That's what I'll say, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I did have some, like, even my interview experience, I had almost 2 months of time to go through end to end.
Okay.
And some reason might be I took some time to practice.
Okay,
And so
yeah.
maybe, yeah.
Yeah, that's good. See, if you have taken that time, then it's okay. But I think in some cases, the company itself will
Correct.
take so much time to come back because, of course, there are like thousands of applicants
Yep.
who are planning to get that job. So, yeah.
This was great insights, Bhavna, and thank you so much for sharing the entire interview experience
Yeah.
and journey.
Yeah.
Before we wind up today's episode, I think one of the most important thing is, what are your final tips for the student or aspirants who might be planning to move to UK? How does the job market look like? Or since you just recently cracked the interviews, what would be your tips to them?
Ah, good question. Okay, see, what I'll say is if you are an aspiring PM back in India or any other country, now coming to UK or to any other country and becoming a product manager, that's a difficult process, right? So if you are an aspiring PM, so you first try to transition into a product manager wherever you are, wherever in whichever job market you've been in. So that's the easy step that you can take. And then once you've gained like at least 1 or 2 years of experience, then you can think of coming to a different country. I think you also interviewed someone who has moved from Bangalore to UK through
That's correct.
Tesco, right? So
That's
that
correct.
is really brilliant.
Yep.
I mean, I have not seen such examples very often. And probably I hardly know maybe 3-4 people who have actually come from India to UK, and they're mostly like 3 developers and 1 PM
Got
Tesco
it.
PM. So it's not an easy thing to move from India to UK. Like I mentioned, I think I have applied to some 500 jobs. My husband has applied to some 500 jobs
Wow.
for almost 1 year. When none of it worked, then that's when we came here. So it's not like we were not getting calls, but in the end they ask, okay, visa
Visa
sponsor.
sponsor.
So when we say we need it, they drop it.
True.
So, and especially in European countries, I think language is a must. Like if you're planning to do something, some degree in
Yeah.
France or Germany, just make sure that you know the language, because I know people who so they had come on student exchange program to Kingston Business School, and they were also applying to many jobs in Germany, and they say that okay, if we don't know German, nobody's going to give us a job.
Oh, wow.
So getting a job in European countries, learning the language is the most important thing. But that's the advantage that you get in UK. We already know English. We would
Yeah.
have studied in English. So at least that language barrier is not there. So UK is a good market to target. If you're planning to study, I think this is the right time to come. Try to plan in this year, especially if you have dependent
Correct.
visa that you might need. So that's my tip.
Oh, thanks. I think this is great. So just to wind up and summarize, things are a bit difficult but not
Yeah.
impossible.
Yeah.
So keep trying and you definitely can fulfill your dreams if you're planning to
Yeah.
move to UK.
Yes, definitely.
Awesome. I think this was super fun discussion, Bhavna, and I really
Yeah.
enjoyed the
Yeah.
entire time. It was so
Yeah.
many things for me to learn as well, especially when you told that for getting into MBA colleges, you don't need a write an exam. You
Yeah.
just apply and have the interview and get shortlisted. So that
Yeah.
was one of my major key takeaway.
Yes.
So thank you so much for sharing this experience with us. I hope the audience will definitely find this useful. And folks, if you enjoy this video, please let me know in the comment section how did you like or what could have been done better or what are the some different type of podcast interviews you would love to hear. So signing off from today's episode, this was Bhavna and I'm Sugat, your host. Take care.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thank you, Suga. Thank you for hosting me. And definitely please like, subscribe, and share this video, because Sugat has put in a lot of effort to make this video, to book this studio. So thank you, Sugat, for all your efforts. And I absolutely love chatting with you. We should do
Same
this
here.
again.
True, absolutely.
Maybe
Thanks.
next time I'll be interviewing you on how you cracked Meta interview.
Absolutely. I think we can plan for that as well.
Awesome, awesome.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers.